Yeah. Definitely don't let somebody do this to your RV when they paint it. Make sure they're prepping it. If you pay for cheap labor, you're probably gonna get cheap work. Might not be pretty, but I think it should work. And here you go. This is the gel coat filler that we used. It's a lot thicker resin, basically. That's my understanding. I'm not a body guy. That's what Tom is recommending, and I trust him. I mean, that feels pretty good to me. Man, what a great repair.
Great repair.
Great repair.
Good job.
Good repair. So yeah, it's a little bit low, so it has a little bit of
Some film.
right, something to fill. You know, there's a spot down there too.
I'm trying not to get into this
Right.
here because I'm.
The next step is to take the resin back down just enough to expose the white again. Hopefully it filled the gaps in between the cracks right there. We're just going to be doing 180 with the DA. Whew. So I think that's a little bit better. I'm just going to go ahead and ease the edges by hand. I can't explain to you how little I enjoy doing prep work, because I'm going to pretty much have to prep everywhere I'm going to paint with a little bit of scuffing. I'm just going to go ahead and use 400 grit on the DA and then take this down, get rid of that edge. You guys won't be able to feel it, but there's no transition. So there's a hard line right there. I can actually get it with my nail, but over here there's no transition. So when this gets painted, hopefully you won't be able to see the shadow outline of where the factory used to have it. So I'll do that down there. The next step after this is going to be filler, sand, prime, block, scuff, mask, paint, clear. I'm still debating on how high up I bring this line. I was just going to go straight up right about there, but I don't know. We can tie in this top decal too. I just go on the bottom of the window all the way across. That seems like a better guide to go by. All right, and with that, I think I'm pretty much done prepping the painted side. Now we just have to do the fill. Now when I talk about the fill, I don't mean this fiberglass short strand filler. We don't want fiberglass in this part. We're trying to restore that smooth finish on the outside. The fiberglass adds a lot of strength to filler, and we don't need the strength. We just need a smooth appearance. Now, strictly because I have access to it, because Tom said I could, we got the glaze right there. We don't have to use too much of it. That's probably enough there. Obviously we want it free of dust so it sticks better. So I'm just going to wipe this down. Let it dry out. You can kind of see the repair right now. Hopefully we won't be able to see that much longer. And we're going to be using cream hardener. I'm going to go ahead and start mixing this up. This stuff probably kicks pretty fast, so I need to work fast. All we're basically going to do is be smearing it on like we're spackling drywall. It already kicked. Can't work it anymore. But that is why I do it in small batches, so I don't waste a lot of product, especially because I appreciate Tom helping me. But once it kicks, you can go ahead and just clean off your equipment pretty easily. Just comes off, and make sure we have a nice sharp edge when we go to spread it on again. And of course, a real body guy would do a better job than this, and not make so much extra work to sand. But I'm not a real body guy. Wait for this to cure a little bit, and then we'll just start smoothing this back out again. In the meantime, I can go back to the front and continue on getting this side done, and of course the front cap done. Seems to be the story with this Forest River though. The screws are too short. I didn't really plan on changing out the screws on this molding, but again, these are only 1-inch screws. They have to go through the molding, the fiberglass, the sidewall to grab anything on the framing inside. And because I have a heck of a lot of them, might as well switch to 1.5-inch ones. Is it necessary? Probably not. There's no big issue with here that we're trying to fix. Just didn't seem right not to. Put longer screws in while I'm up here. So I'll do that the entire length down on this side and the other side. Then I'll get to removing the decals, getting that clear pulled off and getting the clear off the front. Get this thing prepped. Maybe we'll have paint on it tomorrow. Now I think inadvertently doing this made it actually a lot easier because I was able to clean off this molding. And then point in fact, this molding right here, even though this is a 2019, this vinyl cap and the aluminum molding behind it, it's what most modern manufacturers still use. All this bodyline molding. It's always frustrating. But now with this put together, I can finally finish the front cap rubber membrane. Seems like a long time ago we started this roof together. For now, we can go ahead and trim it. Okay, look at that. One less thing. And not to get poetic or anything, or philosophical, they say the best way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time, so that's how we're going after these decals, is just a little at a time. This I do not want to damage the sidewalls on, because that will add more work for me. But I think, give enough time, I'll get this off, that one off, and then the other two on this side. And you know what? Let's get there. Not sure I appreciate that I did this to myself. I just have to clean up all the sticky stuff, which I don't think will be too difficult. I didn't gouge up this wall too bad. And like you can see, there's a lot of damage from the sun going through that decal. It gets overheated, so it's a little bit of checking, following the checking on the decal too. I can't say that you should be able to use a razor blade to get the clear coat off the paint. Whoever did the clear didn't do a very good job, but it's gonna help save me a lot of time. A lot less sanding have to do. So, not everything's so bad. It's cleaned up a little bit of a gouge there. We'll figure all this out. One thing at a time. Let's get the clear off. I'm gonna have to do the clear on this one too. See how that does. Might be easier, might be harder. Now I'm just going to use 80 grit sandpaper to knock this down. So most of the big chunks are sanded down with the 80 grit. Now I'm just going to use 180 to help feather it in some more. And it looks like I just might have a few places I have to add a little bit more filler. I'm just going to run the block over it. And I think that looks good. One more to go. All right, with that one in pretty good shape, next thing I want to do is fill these holes that we started the day with right there. And we're just going to be using the short strand filler, sometimes called kitty hair. Now, this is still pretty much polyester filling or filler. It just has a little bit of fiberglass in it. I'm going to be using just a little bit at a time, so I even have to use even less cream hardener. So again, I'm going to have to work pretty fast doing this. I just don't like doing prep work. So I'm going to be filling these. This stuff shouldn't shrink. All right. Tomorrow we'll finish these up too. Alright, just have to do the last bit of fill. And I think we're getting a bit close to primer here. Well, let me get this edge. This is only 400 grit. Hopefully, we can hide that in primer. We're just going to go ahead and glaze in the last little bit because I didn't get this filled in as good as I thought I was going to, because I'm not good at this. I'm just going to block it down so we're nice and flat.
Yeah, just block it down.
I know, you know I'm going to have to put more because you know I got some voids in there.
Yeah,
I always do.
Put more on top.
I'll use a razor blade next time.
Use whatever you want to do.
Okay, calling that good. It's time to clean this up and prime it. And I'm just going to be using off-the-shelf primer, filler primer, probably do about 2 or 3 coats of it, and then block it out. And you know, I'm just cleaning it up with my all-purpose glass cleaner. Maybe that's the wrong choice, but it works. All right, so we got quite a good coat of sandable, fillable primer put down. The next step is to put down a guide coat. Because this is a filling primer, we'll have to block this out, and the guide coat's just going to help us know where we already sanded so we don't take off all the material we just put on. And it's really nothing more than dusting it with black spray paint. We don't want to make any color on there. It's just once you sand it, you'll know where you sanded because the black paint is off of it. And you'd be surprised how just a little bit of dusting comes up. It's time to sand it. And again, the idea is just so you know where you were, you don't have to sand again. Now it's going to take about 3 hours or so, maybe 4 hours to have that cure. And so what I'm going to do is line out where I'm going to end the paint up here so I know where I'm going to prep and sand to. But I think I'm going to use the window as a guide point. So I'll just use some 1.5" tape. I'm going to use this as a spacer at the bottom of the window right here so I know where my paint line will end, because that's going to be a really good focal point to base off of so it doesn't look crooked. Alright, so I think that's what I'm going to go with. Right below there is all going to be the same color paint. I'll come over to the side right there to meet up with this swoosh. And maybe I'll paint over the top of this vinyl trim too, because why not? We're doing this much, right? But I think that'll incorporate and look like the factory intended to do that anyways. So we're kind of be doing the same thing in the front anyways. Now because this stuff doesn't stick very well, I'm gonna go ahead and just mark underneath it where some real masking tape can go. This will be a little bit better. All right, primer is all cured now. We're ready to sand it. I have a brand new 400 grit on the DA. I'll take the flat spots down with the DA, try to do the rounded spots by hand. Then after I'm done with that, I'll use a gray Scotch pad. We'll scuff up everything else, getting ready for paint. So I'll set you guys up. You get to watch a little bit, but it's just like watching paint dry though. Forgot, I should probably show you this part. Hopefully you can now see where I've sanded and where I haven't sanded because of that guide cone. That's the whole purpose of the guide cone. I know it doesn't make a lot of sense to paint it on all this primer and then paint on top of it and then sand it all back on off again, but hopefully you can kind of see how I can know exactly where I did sand because that black paint is gone. And I'm using 400, so I'm not too aggressive. And really, even though you're not supposed to be, primer is the last filler. Alright, so I got it blocked out with 400. I'm going to kind of scuff it down with a red Scotch pad. And I definitely need to make sure I do these buckets because we haven't touched those. Alright, a brand new, fresh, gray Scotch pad. We'll do a final scrape down on it. I know I keep saying that it doesn't need to be perfect. I'm putting an awful lot of work into something that I did not really plan on putting this much work into. And it's still not going to be up to my standards, I don't think. But, because you can still see a telltale sign of that hole and that hole. But I just can't justify spending another 2 hours on that. Alright, we're going to be using Tom's Mini Mite airless sprayer to blow it all off. Kind of works out pretty good too. Now you don't have to worry about compressed air having oil in it or moisture in it, all those things, you know. All right, we're gonna wipe it down again. Again, I don't like doing prep work, and I'm doing a lot of prep work. You know, for what it's worth, it's probably a good chance it would have been cheaper just to pay Tom to do this. All the materials and time this is taking me to do. Alright, so I got 36-inch paper, masking this off. I think I did a pretty good job considering how much I hate doing this. And I had Tom helping me. Alright, so now we just have a grease and wax remover. More or less. Alright. Alright, so I do have the color mixed up in this container right there, but because we're going to be spraying where it's white, and there's an area where it's already the right color paint, this won't match down there because this will take a lot more material. And so rather than wasting our color on trying to fill in the white area, we got some pre-made color that's close to it. We call it a drop coat. That's just going to be over in this white area right here, so we don't have to use so much of the mixed paint, because it'll already get painted pretty close to the color. Tom just corrected me. It covers better. Covers. You don't get a weird hue. It's all very confusing. I have a bad color eye. Plastic will make color look different than metal, and vice versa. Fiberglass would be different too, even though it's all the same color. You wouldn't think that the material is sprayed on would matter, but it does. You know, obviously I won't be showing us painting this because a lot of people like to get upset about regulations, and it's usually the people that hate regulations the most. But I think it's important to realize this is a county island and they have different rules here, and we're doing less than, what, a gallon? So we're good. Alright, so that's what it looks like with a drop coat. It's a little bit dry, a little bit fast acting reducer that was in there. But, you know, that's what the clear is going to fix. Clear fixes everything. So we'll do a cover with the actual color right here, and hopefully it'll be into clear. I can pull this masking tape off, then I can get back on the front. But only time will tell, right, Tom?
Yep.
All right. Do I got a future yet?
Yeah, I'll hire you.
Okay. You know, the good thing about doing, what we call this, a panel job, because we're doing one big section.
Huh?
We're not doing a blend, so the entire panel.
Yeah.
Right. Because I don't really have to match the paint that well. It was if it's close, that's all that really matters. That was my thought. All right, Tom is very adamant that I start in the stick figure 8. Now this does have metallics in it, so we'll do a base cover to complete, and then we'll mist it afterwards to line up the, what do we call that? Flake?
Make it even, make metallic even.
All right. We blame the flop if it looks bad. All right, so color's been applied. That's more than 2 coats for sure. Try to do a good dusting with it afterwards. I'm sure you guys might be able to see flaws in it. I can see flaws in it, but it's going to be better than it was. The next step is to do the clear and the urethane, right?
Clear, yeah.
Clear, yeah. You know, that gun works really good, Tom. I don't know why anybody wastes their time with compressed air anymore. You don't have to adjust the pressure. You don't get a lot of overspray. And it should be noted that when they mixed this up for me, they already added the reducer on that, and I already had the reducer and the drop coat too. Normally you have to mix the base with a very solvent-based reducer that makes it flow better and flashes out very quickly. I don't know. I think I'm doing better than Forest River. What do you guys think? However, the clear coat is going to be a 2-part mix. I think it's 2 to 1. And definitely I'm wearing a mask with this. Some might say that after prep work, the real skill is in applying the clear. So you don't run it and you don't make it too dry, and you make it look like glass. You don't have to worry about this with latex house paint. You don't have to make your lines look good. People just accept bad looking paint. It's good enough. I'm really quite lucky to have Tom here helping me, because he knows which reducer to use in this too, because it is quite hot outside and we don't want to flash too fast. I'm scared about this part. I'm going to make runs and I don't want to do runs.
Put this at first.
Uh-huh.
Because the first coat, all we have to do is just put something on there to
make it tacky?
yeah.
Okay. So is the key not to try to do a
Not trying to make it slick.
one pass and glass on the first pass?
No.
Okay. You say so.
What to do.
All right, so you'll show me first what to do. Thank you, Tom. All right, he was saying I did an acceptable level of job, which is far superior to the level that I was expecting. I think this will be more than good enough. I'll let it tack up a little bit more, then I'll take the paper off, then hopefully it looks good. There are definitely imperfections in my body work. If somebody was paying me to do this, they'd be making me do it again. But I would have probably taken more time too if somebody was paying me. And perfection is never something you should strive for, because it's hard to maintain. What do you think? Not too bad so far?
No, it looks good.
I hardly even cleaned any of this up. Surprised there's not ballpoint pen exposed. Well, looks like a new back end to me. Think it matches? Oh, pretty close.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's all part of the plan. You leave it dirty so that the old stuff doesn't stick, or the material doesn't stick to it. Honestly, it looks pretty good. Pretty good match. I mean, it's not going to match this one because it's not supposed to, but looks pretty good. Definitely need to make sure I do these buckets because we haven't touched those. I was talking to Tom about how odd it is that we go through all this effort to make sure that the paint sticks, but my car is covered in overspray, even though it's been nowhere close to where vehicles are being painted and it's dirty, but the overspray gets stuck to the car without any prep work. And then you come to something like this, you put all the effort into it, and the paint doesn't stick. Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, there's no wax or grease on it. Right? But it'll get all over my car. That's 100 yards away. It'll stick really well. All right, well, that one was sunburned on there pretty well. That one was 3 times as much work as that bottom one. That was a lot of work.